Welcome back, everybody, to the SOOP Duel series. We've got Best versus RoyaL today. Had a bit of a hiatus while the ASL was taking place. The round of 24 was amazing. It was streamed live here on SOOP as well. The same as this series is being streamed. Same channel, SCTVEN. Guys, make sure to come out if you can and support us live. It's very important for the SOOP partnership that we get more viewers in here. We're aiming for about 100 viewers. I think we're around 20 right now. And so over the next month, we're going to be bringing you guys a ton of these SOOP Duel series casts. Starting here in the group selection week, which is amazing. During a little bit of a hiatus here. With the ASL not being online, it's awesome that we can bring you guys some other Starcraft content. Looks like Best opening up with a Nexus first. All right, we're already getting into it. Nexus first, and the SCV hit itself over to the left-hand side there after scouting. To come back in and see exactly what the follow-up's going to be without revealing the position of his base. So 2 probes were had to be sent out here for Best. He doesn't really get much information with that probe either. You can see it's a 1 gate after Nexus into gas, cybernetic score as well. This is about the greediest early build that we can have for the Protoss player. How is RoyaL going to address this? Looks like he's just going to take his own CC. So playing from a bit of a deficit. But RoyaL proved to be an absolute killer in our last series between these two guys. We've already had one. Oh, not paying attention to this SCV. RoyaL versus Best series before. And that went completely one-sided in the favor of RoyaL. RoyaL just absolutely smashed it. Poking in with these Marines. Maybe he was going to go for a probe there, but the Zealot wards that away. He built a forge, but is that actually a cannon on low ground? I think it may be. And with the cannon, there's really no way to bust this. Not unless you're willing to go for a full-on tank push bunker at the front and try to push in slowly like that. And it seems like RoyaL doesn't have that in mind. He just wants to fall back, build the bare minimum number of Marines, skip this bunker, and try to get back into a reasonable economic position. And he's actually done a good job of it. He's even on workers, and he's going to kill this Zealot for free, it looks like. That Zealot will end up falling. And as it goes down, just able to kill that 1 Marine. SCV's still alive in this main base. Thing has been avoiding the Zealot for too long and will eventually get trapped there. Nice pylon block back behind the minerals to just shut that down and remove that pesky vision from his main. Best gonna follow up with 3 gate observer, it looks like. We don't have that robo just yet, but he's got the 3 gates and will likely just be making a ton of Dragoons to keep himself safe. He doesn't want a repeat of the last SOOP Duel series. That's a bit rough right there. Losing about half HP on his first Dragoon. He's not going to be feeling too good about that. And can't really move out and try to take a third base just yet. Waiting on his observatory. And that is the weakness of the Nexus first build. You end up having quite a late observer. Now there's different ways to take advantage of the late observatory. RoyaL not opting to try and take his own like super quick third base. That's a way that Sharp actually likes to play against this. We've seen it a lot from him. A very quick third with mines just surrounding the Protoss main. You delay the observer as much as possible. delay the move out as much as possible and get that third base out really quick on one factory. That's not going to be the case here. Instead, RoyaL getting into his upgrades, has his 2 factories, and he's going to prepare for a best eventual move out and whatever tech he has in store. He's got the academy so that he can have those scans. He's got the armory, so Goliaths can be made and upgrades can start. Look at that wall. Beautifully walled in here for Best. You can see that he's got a plan on this map. He's prepared well for this series. He really doesn't want to get 4-0'd again. And so it looks like Best's going to get this Nexus up. However, right as the Nexus begins, RoyaL's pushing in towards this natural. It's a little bit of a scary position, but you know what? He's going to be able to flank this pretty well. He's going to hit from both sides. The Dragoons actually walking into the mines. Man, if those mines were a little bit better set up, he could have killed all these Dragoons with the mines because Best was not sending those in appropriately. Oh, the mine connection there does kill a tank, but kills off 2 Dragoons as well. More Vultures rallying across the map, but only 3 tanks remain. Ooh, the blocking with the mine actually there really hurting him. Almost not escaping with that tank. He will back away with 3 tanks, though. Really big moment as RoyaL escapes with those additional tanks, and he's killed a few probes as well. I really thought he was going to lose at least that 1 extra tank, maybe even more, but does finally manage to retreat back. The Stargate on the way for Best. Now, one of the strange things about the way Best played in his previous match versus RoyaL was he went for a lot of carrier play. Was really heavily relying on carriers in that series, and it did not work out for him. Obviously, he had a really rough time of it. Surprised to see him not building a full pylon wall over at that natural. Usually you leave just 1 single gap for your Dragoons to get out. And leave 1 Dragoon in that wall to prevent those run-bys, but he's left a very open natural for RoyaL to potentially run through, and he hasn't taken advantage of that yet, but there's still time here. Cannon was removed, and so there's really no defenses. If RoyaL runs around the left-hand side through that natural third base and into the natural, could be in a lot of trouble, could lose a lot of probes. So far, he's got the probe advantage, and he's coming out here to look at denying this attempted third base, or at least containing the Terran player, not allowing him to sneak Vultures out onto the map too easily. One Observer going to go down here. Good snipe there by RoyaL. Getting rid of a bit of that vision and making his mines a bit more powerful. Arbiters. The Arbiter transition is coming here for Best. We'll see how he fares with that Arbiter transition. That's not his usual method of play. He's much more of a gateway man. Oh my goodness. 5, 6 Dragoons went down there. That was some amazing mine laying from RoyaL. Able to chase down a lot of these Dragoons and not really trading out too many of his own Vultures. Directly heading over towards this natural. He's just going to hit this hard right before Zealot speed is done. It's past the 9-minute mark, so Zealot speed actually should be here, but it's not done yet. 2 Dragoons catch a rallying tank, but RoyaL is right here in the natural. Dude, RoyaL looking so scary. Oh my goodness. He is right up in front of Best already, and he's even on supply. How did this happen? Best got away with a super greedy expansion, but oh my gosh, this mine. All right, the mine actually goes off, but it doesn't deal that much damage to the tanks. The Zealots bleed out, and GG is called. Oh my goodness. RoyaL, he's at it again. He's looking for another 4-0 already. Just so aggressive the way he's playing today. And really the way he played in that previous series. It's a mirror image of that. Game number 2, RoyaL versus Best, with 1 on the board. We're moving on to Blitz Y. I believe this is Blitz Y for our second map. Yes, Blitz Y. A great map. Honestly, this is one of the best 2-player maps that we've had in recent years. Has provided us with some amazing games, and I hope today will be no different. RoyaL versus Best has been an absolute banger. Honestly, just showing the power of RoyaL. The way that he approaches the game seems to be a bit of a kryptonite for Best, honestly. Best is so good at this matchup and breaking open Terran positions, but RoyaL is never waiting for those moments. He's being so aggressive, and Best is finally going to start to take control here by taking away this gas geyser and forcing RoyaL into a bit of a difficult choice. Does he want to bunker expand here with no gas, or is he going to pull a bunch of SCVs to kill that gas geyser? It's not an easy decision to make. And either way, the factory will be late. There's really no two ways around that. Back behind this, it's important that RoyaL figures out what Best is up to. Sees that there's no nexus for sure, and now he sees the zealot coming out his way. So at least one gateway. There's the second gateway. He spots it in the main. No gas just yet. It'll be a 1 gateway into expansion from Best, and so there's a good potential if he wants to throw down an eBay at that natural to slow things down by quite a bit, but looks like he's just going to back away with that SCV. Well, kind of sit off to the side here and wait for another opportunity to come back in and get a little bit more scouting information. Pushing into this front, 2 SCVs have been pulled, taking this very seriously. Bunker is going to be thrown down, but the SCV is behind the zealot. That's not good. He wants to get that SCV in the front, but he actually blocks the zealot on the retreat now that 4 Marines are out. That zealot does need to escape, and RoyaL almost traps it in. Nearly netting himself a first kill on that zealot, but he will be taking his gas now with the CC coming up. I think RoyaL is in a pretty decent position. He's handled this early aggression pretty darn well, walking that tightrope that Best set up for him, and gracefully moves into this next part of the game. 4 Marines actually pushing quite far. This is kind of funny. It's funny how aggressive RoyaL is, really. He's forcing interactions and battles that you don't usually see. And look at this. Best is just going to run away with his zealots. He doesn't want any part of that. He knows a Dragoon is going to pop out soon, so why risk losing the zealot here? And RoyaL just going to go back home and jump inside the bunker. Yeah, it's just funny. You would never usually see a Terran player move out like that. Most Terran players, they just leave their Marines in the natural and wait until they've got the bunker finished, and they just hop in the bunker. And then they don't move their Marines again for the rest of the game, usually. They might throw them away a little bit later on, or maybe put another bunker in the main, possibly, to help out against Reavers or something like that. But in general, they might be part of a push as well, but in general, they're just going to forget that those even exist. RoyaL pushing out across the map with those 4 Marines, really giving us an insight into his style, right? He's just a hyper-aggressive Terran player, especially when it comes to this series versus Best. Looking for any small advantage he could snag with whatever units he has available to him. And not being afraid of the Protoss at all. He really isn't afraid of Protoss. You can tell that. For sure. He's just playing without any fear. Even against such a strong player as Best. The great ape himself. Now, I'm surprised to see Best take this natural. Or this third, excuse me. And why is he taking the third that's way out towards the Terran and towards this potential push location? Coming across those bridges is... It's so hard to stop a push coming across that catwalk. It's going to be very difficult for him if RoyaL just executes a really strong push and hits Best early. Now, we didn't get to see where the scan went down. Okay, it was in the main. He sees 3 gateways. He himself has 3 factories finished. So this might trigger RoyaL to push. He's got an even number of factories. There is going to be a Reaver out soon. But as soon as he sees where this Nexus is, 2 more factories on the way, he is going to go for that push. 5 factory push timing is going to be coming along here soon. An engineering bay gets started. Kind of an afterthought here. He utilized the Goliaths as his original anti-air, and then once it's time to move out, oh, gonna snipe down that observer. I'm not sure exactly all what Best saw. I think he might have seen these 2 factors down here, though. He should be keyed into the fact that RoyaL is gonna push him relatively soon. There goes the observer. It falls, and so RoyaL has removed the eyes from his base. Best in the dark for the time being is likely going to start throwing down a lot of gateways. If he knows about this push, that's exactly what he needs. He needs a lot of gateways to stop this, and he's just now getting his Citadel online. So that Citadel, there might not be a Zealot speed in time for him to break this push. That is a very good possibility. Tanks are going to push up onto this high ground. Taking a little bit of space here as the army of Best rotates. But as soon as that army moves out of position, RoyaL going to start to head along this catwalk. Yeah, he is just going to go for it. Sends out his rallies. Uh-oh. Oh, he's left 1 tank on high ground. Ooh. Oh, yeah. RoyaL's so smart. He does pull things back a little bit. Now he's going to go. That high ground tank, guys, is just such a big brain play from RoyaL. Reaver will come into the main base. Oh, my goodness. This Reaver's going to get so much damage. It is crazy. Can RoyaL stop this? While attacking in and controlling both parts of his army correctly. He's going to get a great position here. He's completely unsieged and just shoving forward. And there's not really anything that Best can do about that, especially not with the tanks on the high ground there. A lot of SCVs are dying. Oh my goodness, so many SCVs are going to go down. Holy crap. Just absolute ownage there in the main base, but at the same time, pushing into this natural is looking kind of scary. A lot of these are going to go down. No, the surround from Best comes in, hitting from all angles. He will clear out this attack. Then what does RoyaL have left? Absolutely nothing, and a Reaver in his base. I think he's done it. I think that Best has held it, and with the Reaver here, getting 1 or 2 last shots off might just clinch things. In fact, at 24 SCVs, there's not much hope for RoyaL anymore. He didn't even kill the third, guys. He didn't kill the third, and GG is called. There we go. Firing back. Best gets a win. Surprised to see RoyaL not wait for turrets. Maybe he was a little late on that engineering bay. It was a pretty greedy engineering bay timing. For sure, it was late. But I expected him to build a few turrets at least before moving out. You know, he had the Goliath there for the early anti-air, but he never waited for that extra, you know, spot defense there. That's generally what you'll do as a Terran player. You build the Goliaths early to cover yourself and then add the turrets as you push so that stuff like that just can't happen. Because of the Reaver going in, he dove too deep. He needed to get too much damage because the Reaver was hurting him so badly at home. If he could have just sat up on the high ground and, like, if there was no Reaver in the main, he could have gone to that catwalk and killed the third and then just reinforced and kept pushing. But he got absolutely popped like a zit. And now Best fires back. Here we go. Game number 3 with Best versus RoyaL. Cross map. Very different situation from the last SOOP duel series between these two guys. Last time, RoyaL was in bottom right and Best was in bottom left, and that type of position on Citadel is extremely Terran favored. It is so hard to break the push as it moves along those walls and corners, and they can get into a position right over your natural. That they can start to hit the mineral patches and the gas in your natural. It's quite a difficult situation to deal with. And so I'm glad we're going to get a more neutral spawn here. Cross map favors Protoss a little bit more. And so it might even out the map differences. We'll see. It appears that Best is going to open with this Nexus first. And with that Nexus first coming down on cross map, he's going to be quite happy with the results. Should be able to scout out that. RoyaL's in the top left here in a moment. Will he throw down a second gateway, though? He should be able to get away with the greediest build like he did before, going directly into gas and opening with one gateway after Nexus, which should give him a nice little advantage. Let's see, he does take gas. So he hasn't spotted RoyaL just yet, but he will take that gas geyser. He moved out with the probe to check and see if there was a SCV coming in. And since he doesn't see that SCV just yet, he will throw down that gas geyser. Confident that his opponent is in cross map position. RoyaL scouts top right. An end scout here for RoyaL. So he's going to have the latest scout timing possible. Looks like Best scouts bottom left and turns around and heads back home. Knowing that RoyaL is in top left is enough for him here. He knows that whatever RoyaL is doing, Best is in a desirable position. Finally, the SCV will get in here, and RoyaL gonna have to accept his fate. Can't really do too much about this incredibly quick Nexus and greedy build out of Best, aside from just take his own CC, bite the bullet, and look towards the mid and late game. The early game is kind of set here. Best will have that advantage. Now, he will snipe down this Zealot here. Being a little bit annoying at the top of the ramp. Utilizing that high ground. Gets one punch on that Marine and gets knocked out. Zealots now back at home. Still not going to build a bunker, and that's definitely important. RoyaL needs to optimize as much as possible. You can see he's got a 6 worker disadvantage. In fact, it's up to 8 now because of the double Nexus production. He's going to be falling further and further behind overall in those workers. So Best has everything going for him. Will he be able to close the game versus RoyaL? Made a very good showing for himself in that last one. Will he be able to put together another set of circumstances like he did on Blitz Y? I doubt that RoyaL will make the same mistake again. Very much doubt that he's going to do another push without adding turrets on behind. And guys, since we're in a bit of a downtime right now, I want to reach out to everybody on YouTube, let you guys know that the SOOP Duel series is back for another month. It's been confirmed, but it's on shaky ground. We need your help. We need your assistance. Please drop by the stream. And even if you can't donate, just having the tab open, being a viewer, being a participant in the stream, it does help out. We haven't gotten a new gem skull just yet from SOOP. And we're not sure exactly when that's going to come. We don't have any information about what they're actually looking for, aside from a brief mention that they wanted more viewership for the SOOP Duel series. So please, if you can, find a way to be here for the live stream. It will help out. It will help us to continue this amazing event into the future. There's about 15 of you watching right now, which is far below where I'd like it to be. There's going to be literal thousands of you guys watching on the YouTube channel, maybe 8,000 to 10,000 in the long term. So I'm sure we can put together, you know, 100 people if you guys are all aware of it and the timing. And I'll tell you now that the next SOOP Duel stream will be on April the 9th at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if that's doable for you, please, please, please show up to our next live stream. That's it for this announcement. We'll get back into the game. RoyaL here. What's his follow-up? I see some big blobs of buildings being built in his main base. I imagine it's some more factories, but here comes the drop from Best. Tries to get a shot up. Kind of whips it. Not able to get a Scarab out. Ooh, this Scarab is going to hit the tank, but only dealing a little bit of damage, and he loses some health on this shuttle. The Goliath getting blocked a little bit by the SCV train and not able to get any shots off there. Will get one more hit. Targeting down on the Reaver. Pretty good shots there from the tank, but the Reaver shot is very good as well. Might be able to get a tank kill here, but has to pick up before those tank shots come out. Likely killing that Reaver. It's already quite low. He's going to fly right back in again. He's looking for some more damage, but the tanks are still present, and so he will back off. Not the most effective drop from Best. Really good defense from RoyaL, and that's what we saw in his previous series versus Best, was just insane good Reaver drop defense and very crisp timings. Able to come across the map and just smash through Best. Also very good control with his drops and vultures to get the distractions that are necessary to have a smooth push out. And so now RoyaL, oh wow, he's got science facility already, and he's going to go into, what, double upgrade behind this? It's not a typical style anymore. This is not the way that Terran players are opting to play generally in 2025. This is a little, it's coming back a little bit. I have seen more and more people pull this out, but it's honestly not as strong. At least against the traditional, you know, Reaver into Speed Shuttle with Templar Storm style that Best is so well known for. Although Best hasn't been playing in that style either. He's been playing more Carrier, more Arbiter. Although this game, he is really gearing up with the gateway count. A lot of gateways are being made. Maybe we'll see that traditional approach, the approach to PvT that Best is well known for in the KCM, where he just loads up an insanely powerful punch and just smashes through the Terran as they're trying to take their third base. You're just not going to have the meat, not going to have the muscle as a Terran player when you're busy here adding on so many upgrades. He actually hasn't put down a second armory, and so he's doing a little bit of a middle of the road thing, right? He's building more factories, more units than the traditional double armory build. He's got one armory, but he will be getting +2 quickly. Triple shuttle heading into the main base. That budget recall is going to be hitting pretty hard. It's like one shuttle will fall. Maybe a bit of targeting there from... Oh my god! That huge mine connection there. Followed up by a massive storm as well. So well done here by Best, actually. Doing an incredible amount of damage. And here comes the Zealot drops on top of these tanks as well. Going to be baiting in some splash damage and kind of buying time here for these Dragoons to target down the CC. He's just going to right-click that CC and see if he can kill it. If he gets the CC, a massive advantage to Best. And he will throw a huge wrench into the Terran plans here. Really well executed attacks by Best. The combination of the triple shuttle into the main with the Zealot drops on the tanks has absolutely shredded Royal's defenses. And now the overall advantage is huge. Absolutely huge. He's gonna try and target this down. He gets it. Oh my god, no cancel. Dude, RoyaL is in so much trouble. So much trouble now in this game. He does have +2, but what little help is that going to bring for him? This is Best with double robo and a huge gateway count. He is going to be close to maxing out very, very soon. I was going to say by the time RoyaL hits 100 supply, but he's going to hit that now. We're at about 60 supply at 4 Best. Here comes a storm drop. Ooh, big storm there. Can he get a second one? No. No secondary storm, although he did have the energy for it. Dropping RoyaL down to 90. Wow, it might actually come true. Best is approaching that max number, and RoyaL's not quite at 100 yet. The 100 supply advantage. Will Best throw everything at the wall and just break through RoyaL? I think that's there's a pretty good chance of it. RoyaL is set up in a nice position, but look at the number of Zealots streaming across this map. 180 supply to 99. I was very close on my prediction there, guys. Look, 190. He just surpassed 100. Here we go, diving on top of everything. Shuttles will start to go down. Great target fire on those, but storms come out. Zealots are streaming in, and RoyaL will have to tap out. Beautifully done. Absolute perfection here from Best. The combination, the 1-2 punch blasts through the defenses of RoyaL, and it nets himself another win. Ooh. Now it's a series, boys. This is hot. Let's jump into our next one with Best spawning in bottom left, RoyaL in bottom right, and RoyaL has been... It's been shown that RoyaL is not unbeatable. Best can certainly take him down. It wasn't a one-off, that last one, or the one before. It's a pattern now. 2 wins in a row. Best is breaking him down. It was a little bit off meta what RoyaL tried to do in that last game, going for such an early science facility and trying to get quickly into that +2 while taking a third base. It's been proven not to be a robust enough strategy to hold up against the shuttle Templar Zealot style that Best is so well known for, and I hope we see him continue with that style because it's just so fun to watch. And Best does it better than any other Protoss player out there. He is so strong with that style. And again, going to take a Nexus first. He hasn't been punished for it so far this series, but if RoyaL was going to punish him in any of these games, this is going to be it. He's scouting in the correct direction. He's going to find him right off the bat. His barracks is about to finish up. His gas is on the way. You should have a quick factory and a very quick vulture, and assuming he just builds a lot of Marines here, he sees it. Will he back away with his SCV? No, he gets into the main, and he's going to see the one gateway. Will there be a gas? Is he going to take his gas? No, second gateway. I think that's very smart for Best. So Best, because of the timing of this scout, he knows that it's a close proximity spawn location for RoyaL, and there's a very good chance that RoyaL will pull the boys for a bust. And so he's going to smartly add this second gateway in order to get a couple of extra zealots out. And hopefully keep this Nexus alive. Now, Best is going to get in there and see no CC and this factory about to finish up. And so a bunker is going to be pulled. This is kind of a funny bunker with only one Marine. It's very reminiscent of a TVZ, actually. Oh, loses one. One worker is down, but one SCV dies as well. And with the SCV down, there's no way to push in. Cannot finish this bunker. And the Zealots are going to come out now. He forces the probes away for a second, but throws down his own CC back at home. So he's not going to pull the boys. He's not going to punish, aside from what he's already done. One probe kill for one SCV. Not the best. Not the best at all. We are going to have that Vulture come out, and this Zealot will be dealt with. Going to get that probe first, but will eventually kill the Zealot as it heads towards his main. Best will have some Dragoons out here soon. But I would say his position is looking quite strong. As long as he's been building probes non-stop, now that he has the double Nexus, he's going to get a fairly strong worker advantage. There's not really anything that RoyaL can do about it. Doesn't want to throw in this first Vulture for a couple of probe kills. That would not be worth it. And so this Vulture's probably just going to loop around. Try to lay some mines over there at the center left while Best gets into his robotics facility. Looks like he'll be throwing that down after upgrading range. So not getting greedy in the slightest. I really like Best's play, honestly. The way that he's reacting to what RoyaL's doing is a sign of greatness. The second gateway ad was a spot of genius, and RoyaL, seeing that, decided not to try and bunker bust or try to pull the boys, and went instead for the bunker. The probe pull was fantastic. It was still a great trade. Trading 1 for 1, and again, he's going to find himself in a good position. Now, RoyaL, from this position, will he be able to execute a 2-base push, or is he going to try to bunker down on his side of the map, play a turtle style? Because we have seen him do very well with that turtling style of play. in the past. In fact, he was able to turtle so well that it forced Best into carriers a couple of times in the late game, which was not successful. RoyaL was just able to run down the carriers. Even with, 7, 8 carriers out, he was still able to win. So he's very strong with this style of turtle Terran. A lot of players, a lot of casters, and viewers will say that once the carrier number is that high, 8 carriers, 10 carriers out on the map, it's just impossible for Terran. But RoyaL seems to have ways of making it work. At least against Best, who's not the pinnacle of carrier play for the Protoss race. Certainly more adept with gateway units than with carriers and really anything else. He moves out to take his third. Now 7-minute third. Very conservative, well-timed on-curve third base, but will he spot this army coming in time? Vulture's going to run in here looking for a surround with mines. Going to target down those mines for now. He's doing a good job of that so far, but won't be able to pull back any further. Can he get one tank for his trouble? No. Not even a single tank for those 3 Dragoons. And so RoyaL just going to shove right in here, coming from an awkward angle and just getting in very quickly. Now trying to come out through this pylon wall. It's really tough for Best to get out here. Can he bite this mine? No, he cannot. And now tank siege mode is done. He does get 1 tank kill. So reducing the tank number to 3. Frustrated. Best is going to kill his own pylon here, opening up the position a little bit more for his Dragoons to slip out. But can he actually break this? He's going for it now, running forward with some of these Dragoons, but losing so many of them so quickly. Oh, the probes get pulled. The Dragoon tries to drag the mine, but GG. Wow. RoyaL smashes him with what was this, 3 factory? Oh my goodness. Absolutely crushed there. Best. What was the problem? Honestly, he was playing just fine. He was playing so conservatively there. The triple gateway. Was it the lack of Reaver? Like, where was the Reaver in that game? He was adding on some more gateways, I suppose, but I'm actually blown away that Best was stomped out like that. I'm not sure exactly what the interaction was there between the builds that allowed Best and RoyaL to just break through like that. No surround on the push like last time. He had those Dragoons on the right-hand side. Got immediately surrounded by mines and killed. Something to see the move out, that's for sure. Because it really did catch Best off guard. Here we go, guys. Game number 5. Completely even in this series, and Apocalypse is our next map. The 3-player map with those high ground plateaus. Can really change the way this game is played. Plus, it's a low ground main base, or I guess a neutral ground main base, so there's no high ground advantage there. The possibility of a really aggressive Protoss push in the early game, trying to get in and deal some early damage. RoyaL, he's just going to go ahead and throw down a 12 gas. We're going to get the first non-Nexus first game, I think, of the series, right? We did have that one game with a gateway into Nexus, but finally, we're going to see gas get mined before that Nexus is thrown down for Best. Maybe realizing that you can't keep getting away with it forever. And even if he does get away with it, it seems like RoyaL has his number in a lot of these cases. A factory gets thrown down here. 228. Nicely timed factory, really hitting his build. And so Best will come in to try and slow that down as much as possible. If he can get the SCV to stop even for a second, it's quite strong. But the Marine is out now and pushing back this probe, so we will have to retreat for now. Nexus is going to be thrown down. Nexus on 19, it looks like. And indeed, Nexus on 19. So he is going to delay the second Dragoon a little bit. Doesn't quite have the money for that. We'll go ahead and start that now. As RoyaL gets in and sees the Nexus, he's going to drop his own CC. So CC just split seconds behind that Nexus. Just a few seconds of delay there on the CC. So really the position is not bad at all. RoyaL, he does not have the bunker yet. 3 Marines and a Vulture will deal with this Dragoon, but once the second Dragoon comes across the map, it's a different story. For now, he's going to distract that with the SCV, and so can still delay building that bunker for a little bit longer. Once this SCV dies, though, we should see the bunker get started in that natural. Citadel in the corner. Uh-oh. Can he actually prevent the SCV from spotting that? Sneaky Citadel over here in the top left of Best Base. He's going to be opting for a DT build. Now, will it be DT with drop? Or is he just going to go for straight up DT walking across the map? Best is going to get a little fancy now. Not relying on his normal style. He wants to throw RoyaL off with this early DT play, and it is going to be a DT drop. Quite a heavy tech investment early from Best. We'll see if it ends up paying off. Actually needs to get some damage with this because of the amount he's put into it. If RoyaL swats it away, he might be able to just counter push. Of course, there will be the problem of a lack of detection in the early game, so maybe RoyaL won't be able to make that happen, but it depends on how well he shuts down this DT drop. Now, the Dragoons are only in a low number here, and so will be pushed back in towards the natural. This is a probing push from RoyaL. Just asking the question, what have you actually got? What do you have? And it appears that he's very low on overall units. There must be a shuttle coming soon, is what's going through RoyaL's mind now. And he will be setting up mines and possibly turrets here in preparation for a potential Reaver drop. He's not going to know, though, that Templar drop is incoming. High Templar, or sorry, not High Templar, Dark Templar, going to be popping out here in just another moment. And so, will RoyaL be ready for this? I didn't see any turrets back at home. He's actually in a position to potentially scout the shuttle coming in, and so he'll see the angle of the approach, which will allow him to move units into position to actually get in the way of this. And in fact, he's moved out his army all the way to the right-hand side. Look at this. RoyaL is going to initiate a push as the shuttle comes into his main. This time, contrary to what happened, I believe it was game number 1 or game number 2, RoyaL has turrets back at home. He's ready on the defense, right? Driving right into this natural. He's going to kill so much here. Only 3 Dragoons, guys, and the probes are going down extremely fast. A lot of probes are falling here. He does not have much detection, though, so DTs can come out and start to kill this. It's just he has done so much. These DTs, they have to carry a massive weight on their shoulders. Turrets being built over here at the natural. He has secured some long-term detection to deal with this. Mine? Wait, what? Oh my god, this mine is insane. Are you kidding me? That mine is crazy. Still the same result, though. The mine goes off, the DT dies. but the tank ends up falling as well. However, this push from RoyaL is just too strong, guys. This is such a nice technical play from RoyaL. Another mine pops up. The tanks are going to work here. 2 more Dragoons pop out, and he will clear the 1 tank. Looks like he can follow that up with a kill on this secondary tank, or can he? It's getting kind of low. He does get it. He does get it, but now the vultures can slip into the main, start to kill even more probes, and Best is already behind in that overall number. His RoyaL has more units coming across the map. This is nearly a 1 game here for RoyaL. Just so impressive the way he's been able to dismantle this DT play. And once again, Best just not seeing the move out coming. He had no idea that army teleported to his natural. He had no idea it was coming. From his perspective, from his vision, it was a Terran recall over to the natural base, and Best, he lives, but he's not in any sort of good position here. He is so far behind in workers. He's a full 10 down, even more, 12 workers down. He's switching into 2 base Arbiter. Oh, and he's eating mines as well back at home. It's so rough, guys. It is so incredibly rough. Vulture's looking for a run by, but Best has everything locked up. Dude, if Best loses any more probes here, it's just GG. I don't see how he can recover. He's barely gonna live with the number of probes he's managed to preserve in this game, but RoyaL has the advantage, and I doubt he'll let it slip. He's just been playing so crisply and so cleanly this whole series. Let's see if Best can do something to bring himself back in this game. It's going to have to be some sort of Hail Mary play. Maybe he can get an Arbiter out, land the stasis of his life, and win a fight. That could be a way he can bring himself back. But RoyaL already has his 3rd up. His 3rd is up and mining, whereas Best is just making his 3rd Nexus. That's crazy. RoyaL really knows how to push an advantage. Incredibly scary what he did, the counterattack while the Reaver or DT was coming in. He didn't know which one it was, but he counterattacked at the perfect time, had the mines set up and the turrets back at home, and he just handled it so darn well, hiding the move out and landing that critical blow as Best is trying to get over into this Arbiter play. Dude, if Best had made another 2 DTs, I think he might have been in an insanely good position, because 2 more DTs pop out as that push is coming in. I don't think he had scans. Yeah, I know he didn't have scans as the push was coming in. So as long as he denies the turrets from going up, the push can't stand. And Best would have just wiped it out. But as it is now, Best did not make those additional DTs. RoyaL got the counterattack he was looking for, and the follow-up is way too powerful. Best taps out after seeing how strong this push is coming his way. Ooh. Masterful play from RoyaL. Small mistakes from Best are accumulating into massive advantages for our Terran player. RoyaL hitting back hard and smashing through Best once again. Here we go with Best spawning in bottom right. RoyaL down in bottom left. What's our map? Retro. Let's go ahead and change up the music. I've been listening to the Terran for quite some time. It's time for Best to make that comeback. We'll switch over to the Protoss music now. We'll see if Best can even things out once again and take us to that 7th game. That would be hype, guys. Let your friends know about this series. Share it. Get as many people in here as possible. If you're not able to join the live stream, I totally understand, but we definitely need to get those numbers up if we want this series to continue. I'm going to keep reminding you guys every time we have this series and letting you know about our upcoming stream. So the next stream is going to be on the 9th of April at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's perfect for you North American viewers out there. And so we really do need your support. Looks like Best gonna opt for another Nexus first. All right. Wants that advantage once again. Here, though, on Retro, it's gonna be hard to defend a punish. If Royal finally wants to go for it, he hasn't really punished with a Nexus kill any of these early Nexi from Best. And so he's really gotten away with a lot in this series so far. But despite that, Royal's managed to make his way into a very punishing, strong mid-game. So it's not like he has to pull the boys and try to deal damage here. And it looks like he probably won't. With the lateness of this scout, he's going to have a really hard time getting in there, dealing that damage. 2 minute 30 on that factory, so a little bit slower. Wasn't quite on the ball with that mineral boosting this time, but still a very reasonably timed factory coming here from Royal. He will have early vultures, and this Marine making its way over towards the natural. We're going to see another bunker from Royal. Maybe he can try to set one up and look for a probe kill or two. He gets in here, he sees the cybernetic score, and just pulls his Marine straight back across the map. So he sees that Best has basically gone for the greediest build once again. Hard to underestimate the greed here. Or hard to overestimate the greed here. Like, this guy... Finally, okay, boys are going to be pulled. Here we go. Royal sending the SCVs across the map. He's had enough. Best has gotten away with so much. Oh, he loses the first Marine? Are you kidding me? That was some bad control from Royal. Really needed to pull that back. Surprised to see him not keep that Marine alive. And Zealot is over here kind of hiding on the high ground off to the side. That Vulture can easily take it out. Yeah, the Vulture should be sent back to deal with that. SCVs are going to come forward, ready to body block the Zealot. The counterattack is on the way. Royal, did he start a add-on, or is he going to build another Vulture here? I think, actually, he built an add-on. Yeah, he built the add-on, so maybe the Zealot can do something. The Zealot pulled back up onto high ground. All the probes have been evacuated. Civi goes down here. So the bunker will finish in a moment. Pushing up the ramp is probably not the greatest idea. This Zealot really not going to do too much. Bunker here right at the bottom of the ramp, so it'll be very hard to get good surface area on that once the range upgrade is finished. And the Nexus will definitely fall. In the end, it's looking pretty good for Royal, but Best lost no probes. He kept all of his probes alive, and he has a hefty probe advantage. Going to be getting some more gateways going while Royal looks to take his own natural. It'll be down to how cleanly Best can break this bunker. If Royal brings back one more SCV to just try to keep this bunker alive, that'll be really painful for Best. Because he can only fit 2 Dragoons on that ramp to hit the bunker. And he can't come down the ramp. He can't come down the ramp until he's got an observer to clear these mines. And so it's going to take a long time to break this. Yeah, if he had a second SCV here, I think this would be really good for RoyaL, but it'll still delay enough. We keep that repair going for the time being. Eventually the bunker will break. The Marines are going to run for it. And it seems like we're actually going to have elevator tactics here from Best. Sending a probe out to the center right, going to try and take this base. Will he be able to juggle the Dragoon here? Yeah, he can pick the Zealot up and just drop in order to dodge that mine. And uh-oh. Vulture's going to come in. Can he get the probe? Oh, he gets the probe. Huge kill. Huge kill here for RoyaL. Kills the probe, and now he can't even take that third. Well, he will come down and take the natural now. And so it's not the biggest deal in the world, but that's really frustrating to Best. Honestly, I would be massively tilted. They managed to kill that probe. Now he's going to send it around. Secondary probe. Coming over here to the center right. He's going to double expand after the Nexus bust. So pretty standard stuff for Best. However, RoyaL is starting to get a worker lead. Look at this. 2 workers up, and that's going to continue to grow. That Nexus is nowhere near completion, and these 2 CCs are just hammering away, building out these SCVs as quickly as possible. Doesn't have the best defensive setup back at home, but there's not really anything Best can do to him at the moment. He should have a Reaver out here soon and should then be able to put on the pressure, but assuming RoyaL builds a couple of turrets, you know, a turret on the main base command center with a tank and a turret on the natural command center with the tank, and then some roaming army to stop damage from occurring here, he should be able to hold this. It's not the fastest Reaver in the world, and it was absolutely scouted. Actually, he didn't get into the main base, but he's got to know that something like this is going to come as a follow-up. In fact, he's going to see it flying in with the barracks. So, getting that preemptive scout. Does he have a turret? He has no turret? Oh my goodness. Okay, that was actually pretty cool. What we just saw there was RoyaL hitting hold position on his tank and then focus firing the Reaver. So he actually got a shot on the Reaver that he shouldn't have gotten. Oh my god, 3 tanks from the high ground, dealing a bunch of damage there. Really good control from RoyaL. Yeah, see, it is possible to spam stop on your tank to prevent the cannon from turning and firing. So when the Zealot is dropped first, you don't just waste the shot, and then the Reaver gets to land and shoot for free. So really well done by RoyaL there to get that original shot, and you know, maybe that allowed him to actually get the kill on the Reaver because of that early damage. Second Reaver going to be picked up now. Best going to continue this harassment. It has not gone his way so far, though. Really not gone his way so far. And now we've got Goliaths with range. Oh boy. Oh boy, that's scary. Yeah, look at these Goliaths. We got triple Goliath with range in the main base. Those Goliaths move out of position for just a moment, heading over towards that natural. eBay is just finishing up now, so he was light years away from turrets. It's really a good thing that Snow wasn't controlling the Reaver there earlier, because no turrets and no Goliaths, Snow's Reaver would have had a heyday killing off SCVs. However, Bass just not quite on that level. Was only able to get a couple of shots off, and really not much damage occurred at all with that first Reaver. But RoyaL holds it with nothing but tanks and a couple of vultures. You can see now he's ready for this follow-up push. Right as he gets the turrets online, he's ready to go. Gonna send the Goliaths out first, no doubt. Try to snipe down that shuttle if possible. Good pullback here from Best. He's going to delay this as long as he can. Looks like RoyaL's actually going to move up towards his third base, and he's already got that started on location. So RoyaL making it look like he wants to push forward and then immediately moving up to this high ground. This is an awesome play from RoyaL as well. If these two Reavers are sitting up on that high ground at the center left, waiting for you with the Dragoons up there as well, oh my goodness, is it ever a nightmare to try and push up that high ground. But RoyaL makes it look like he's going to move forward, forces Best to position in front of the natural, and so he easily takes his third base practically for free. Zealot speed's finishing up now here at 11 minutes. And we're going to see a snipe on the observer at the front. Very annoying stuff for Best to deal with. Now he can't get the range, the vision range there to see if tanks are shuffling forward to try and snipe down those Reavers. You really do need to see if those tanks are looking to get those snipes off. So Best does have to pull back pretty far and has to be very careful with these Reavers now. More and more factories getting added, and RoyaL is looking unstoppable, man. I know he's been beaten by Best twice, but he is looking so damn good. Base being taken over here at the center, bottom center. I'm not sure how that's going to go for Best. Maybe he can bait RoyaL into pushing there and then come in from the center of the map and hit him at an angle. Maybe Best can make that work. Oh god, yeah. See, this is what I'm talking about. He can't see this. And so RoyaL gets a free shot off. Almost kills one of those Reavers. This guy with only 2 kills. Certainly not enough to warrant the production of the Reaver. You can't discount the cost of these Reavers, guys. They are very expensive. And you have to build in all the scarabs for them too. So that costs a lot of minerals as well. So he does really need to get some value out of these units. Trying to slow down the base over here in the top right. Looks like one Vulture was looking to get the snipe on the probe, but just not going to happen. Best a little bit too on top of that. There's no more Vultures out on the map now. He's actually shut down unit flow coming out of his third base, so he can't slide units out of there. He's got to push on this angle. And move forward now. This could be 2 big shots from the Reavers. No, does not get those shots. Does keep the Reavers alive, though. Tanks are very stacked up, so he could have gotten some really good value. Will, in fact, get 3 Vultures as they try to push forward to lay down the mines. He needs mines on the top side of this army so that he can deny a push coming in from the middle of the map. A lot of shuttles are being loaded up. Storm is ready here. Best. This is his best chance to win this game versus RoyaL. He has to hit this army and smash through it. He's only got a 10 supply advantage, though. The way the game has gone so far, Best is in a bit of trouble. Budget recall into the main. Rather than hitting this army, he's going to try and hit the main base as hard as he can with as many forces as possible. Oh, boy. Reaver shots could be huge. Big Reaver shot there. Huge storm. Oh, my God, the storm. Oh, the storm is insanely good. Killing off every SCV in this main base. Probably about a third of all the SCVs just go down there. The army will be cleaned up. And RoyaL is meanwhile pushing in towards the bottom center. I think that'll end up going down. Oh my gosh. This SCV train was so juicy. Can he actually get another shot? No. Those SCVs on the line will be safe for now. Tanks haven't actually made any moves towards this bottom center. I thought RoyaL would be hitting that Nexus during this this attack, this drop, but it seems like he's neglected that front for a little bit, and Best has been able to put together more shuttles, more zealots to potentially break this push. Those tanks are so stacked. Imagine a storm. Well, imagine a storm before the tanks were moved forward there. Could have probably hit 6 tanks with 1 storm. And so could have potentially broken that easily. Now another budget recall coming into the third base. He actually reset up another... Oh, wow. Really good stuff. Really, really good stuff here from RoyaL. Having the bunker here at the front as well with those Marines that were made early in the game. Still, big storms go off and down to 40 workers here. Great control with these vultures, pulling them back at the right moments. And just eating those zealots alive. Vultures completely destroy all of those zealots and push this army back. Meanwhile, push over towards bottom center is continuing and continuing to make ground there. Pushing away all of those probes. Now cannot mine from this base. This will eventually be taken out. Best, however, has top right rolling now. He's got the mining going here, and he's pushing through the middle. Oh, gosh, this could be a big moment. RoyaL's not sieged up. He's not sieged up in time. The Zealots are coming in from the south part. There's maybe not enough vultures in here. The targeting has to be very good on the Dragoons with these tanks. Here comes a drop with some storms. He's going to drop a bunch of storms on this army. As all the Zealots disappear, the Dragoons will be able to push through with the addition of the storms, adding on that just that little bit of extra damage to allow the Dragoons to win the day. And so RoyaL will push down towards this bottom center. He's still got a good supply of tanks, but he's lost that big supply advantage he had before. Wasn't ahead of the Protoss, but being on par with Protoss is similar to being ahead. And so Best actually transfers more workers down to bottom center. That's quite funny. He's going to try and mine a few more resources out of that location before RoyaL takes it over completely. And Templar being dropped out here. That's kind of funny. I'm going to go ahead and make an Archon. Not sure what's going on with that. We'll try to attempt to drop over here at center left once again. Can he get the big storms? Oh my gosh. Every SCV at this base goes down. 30 SCVs remain. Best has completely flipped this game on its head with these continuous storms and drops into the main and third. He has eviscerated the economy. Great team matrix there to block the damage that was going to be laid down on this tank, but just a Zealot being dropped on top of that now will end up killing the tank, no doubt. Pushes through the middle of the map. Great storm there, dealing a lot of damage to these tanks. And RoyaL, I mean, he's 70 supply behind. Can he somehow set up a chokehold on this natural and move to top right to start shutting down bases? He needs to get something done. He actually needs Best to run in with a really unfavorable attack, but the Zealots are here. They're going to jump on top of these tanks now. There's not enough vultures in the mix. The Zealot number is too high. Best is breaking through. I think he's done it. I think he's done it. He's done it. RoyaL taps out. Best busts through. And it takes us to a game number 7. Absolutely fantastic that we're going to get to see this series come to such a conclusion. The rivalry is hot right now, guys. Best versus RoyaL was an absolute stomp the first time these guys went head to head. Best played absolutely out of his mind in order to take down RoyaL here. And he brings us to our final game. The best of 7 will go all the way tonight, boys. And I couldn't be happier about it. Here we go. Best versus RoyaL. Our final game of the night. Radion. We're back to that very first map. The one where RoyaL started this series off with a win. Can we conclude with a Best victory to kind of set things straight? in this final game. That would be epic. Best has had a long road here. Going down 4-0 in the first series between these two. Had some struggles in this series as well, but has managed to bring us to a tentative 3-3. Was looking fantastic in that last game, and maybe, just maybe, he can pull it together for this final match. RoyaL is not going to make it easy. And it looks like he's... Wait, is he gonna... Okay. Barracks here on high ground. He's gonna stick with his guns. I thought maybe we were gonna see RoyaL gamble with like a CC first, but the minerals were a little low. Was a bit too early. I jumped the gun on that. We got the Nexus first. Of course, for Best. He has been getting away with it. Playing very well. Remember, that last game was a Nexus first that got busted. And so even if you bust the Nexus first, it's not necessarily a win. It may not even be a great position for the Terran player. Which is crazy. Really, the strength of Nexus first is one of the defining factors of Protoss versus Terran in the modern era. And he will scout this first. And so maybe there's a thought in RoyaL's mind to break this again. Maybe he knows what he did wrong in that last game. And breaking the Nexus first could be crossing his mind here. Let's see what he decides to do. He sees only the one gateway. It's so tempting. Honestly, it's so tempting to bust this. Is he going to pull the boys? Are we going to see this Nexus bust? RoyaL, this will be the defining factor of this game. The decision. Within the next, like, 30 seconds or so. Well, here he sees the build. He sees the Forge. The Forge is very important. Maybe with the Forge coming up, he decides not to. Yeah, he will throw down the CC. Forge means that a cannon is going to be built for Best and is natural. And in that case, Vulture plus Marine is just not going to have the punching power to break through. So indeed, he will switch. Now, but Best really does need to see that CC so he can see what kind of position he's in. We'll kill off that SCV with some clever probe micro. Gets rid of it. Starport on the way. Okay, RoyaL gonna follow this up with a Vulture drop. Now, if Best does the build that he's been doing with this Nexus first into triple gateway, he should have more than enough Dragoons to hold this, and all the Dragoons should be in the main base and natural at the timing of this drop. Triple gateway. That probe is in position. Is it going to take it? It doesn't have the robo just yet. Should be getting that soon as well, though. Setting up some pylons here at the back. Looks like he went for double gateway robo. So a little bit less safe. We'll see how much damage this drop can get. With the double gate, you're going to be like 1 or 2 Dragoons behind where you otherwise would have been. Speed is coming online. And so RoyaL may do a 2-pronged attack. One, the drop into the main, and then second, a run by into the natural. Of course, the cannon is a bit prohibitive of something like that, but maybe he can still slip past if there aren't any units in that natural, kind of waiting and blocking. Just run right past the cannon. It's not protecting the probes at all. So let's see if Royal can get this damage. Best, where are the units? He's adding more pylons in the main. You can see he's got plenty of vision down there. Where are the Dragoons? Now they're actually in the natural. And so these vultures will be unloaded and start to deal a lot of damage. He does not have the full wall. Where is this other building to complete the wall here for Best? He was putting those buildings down in previous games, but this time he has it, and so many probes have fallen. Huge damage here. Getting so many kills. Not combining it with a run by into the natural that I could see. But RoyaL did just fantastic with that drop. He's actually given himself a big advantage now, as he already has the tech. He's still got the dropship out. He's now going to be laying mines everywhere, and Best has just been slowed down. The advantage of the Nexus first has been completely negated. This is not looking good for Best. RoyaL having the right call, making the right call for the right map, the right situation. Best gonna look for the probe. Does get it. Cannot take a third base just yet. Really good control from him. He was planning to go for a drop there. Oh, he's gonna get the probe again. Oh my god, the probe for a second time goes down. Oh my goodness. The levels of tilt at this point are just so insane. He is absolutely tilting out of his mind after losing all of those probes. At least I would be. It's too bad we don't have a face cam of Best like we do in the ASL. We could see his expression after RoyaL continues to annoy him with these vulture plays, and Best just struggling to get an economy rolling once again. After all that damage is being slowed down over and over now. A scan goes out. He should have checked the main just to see if there are going to be some follow-up drop plays here for Best. We didn't get a view of exactly where that scan went down, so we won't know for sure, but he's got some Goliaths here. He will have Goliath range on the way now. He's going to utilize those Goliaths at least until the turrets are fully up. Not sure what we're doing here over the natural. Must be something going on. Okay. Our Spanish caster is getting back to work here with the observing. That's what we like to see. The Dragoons clearing out mines Best. That's quite a few units moving this direction, but RoyaL is not planning to move out anytime soon. He's just sitting here, going to get all of his production online, try to slip some vultures out, maybe snipe a couple of observers. He has some turrets now in his main, so he's not too afraid of a drop coming in. I think Best's going to rely on his normal style of play. Because he has been slowed down, he's not going to go for Arbiter or anything like that. We're going to see a lot of gateways. A quick transition into Templar with Storm. And the big 8 Best. Going to be looking for those charges, those attacks that can bust through the Terran armor. They're going to put together a massive army and a lot of shuttles. Now, diving into the main, I'm not sure if it's advisable. It depends on the setup for RoyaL this time. I think there's a good chance RoyaL has gone for a science facility in this game and going to try out that +2 attack again. We haven't gotten a shot of that for a bit. What's going on in the main base? And so we're not too sure what exactly he's up to. But I'm seeing like maybe 4 or 5 factories. Getting ready to possibly take a third base. He's pulled Best's army out of position far enough so that he can actually start to move out on the map. Oh, uh-oh. know what? Best might get caught here with these mines. He's losing quite a few Dragoons here before the fight even takes place. But the Goliaths go down. Wait, the Goliaths were way out of position there. Those Goliaths all gone. There was like 3-4 Goliaths that were supposed to be here for the anti-air to shut down the shuttles that fly in. But he was too focused on killing off these Dragoons. And so Best's army with the drops coming in, that actually might be massively significant. Best is going to have some good speed shuttles coming forward here, I imagine. Wait, where are the speed shuttles? I don't see them. Well, here comes Zealot. Zealot's pouring forward. There's about 20 supply advantage at the beginning of this fight. Zealots get on top of a lot of this. Vultures are in pretty good position, and the tanks are doing a really good job of targeting onto the Dragoons. So most of the Dragoons are gone, and the Zealots are going to dissipate. 4 tanks remain, though. Is that enough to push forward? RoyaL thinks so. He's going to push up, add more turrets here, and start to set up. Dude, if Best had a couple of I don't get it. Where are the speed shuttles? If Best had a couple of speed shuttles there, he could have dropped Zealots on top of everything and broken that position, I imagine, but he just didn't have it. He's got 1,000 minerals in the bank. He's falling behind in overall supply. What is happening? Finally, he hits a round of units here. Is Best completely tilted in this game? He's going to bring out some more Dragoons. He's going to hit that next round of units. Zealots are going to be pouring forward. He needs Zealots to break this. There's not that many tanks. Really, not that many tanks to hold the line. And RoyaL is stretching himself rather thin. Best is going to rotate around the army here. These cannons on high ground are doing so much work. Getting rid of some of these important vultures that are pushing up onto the high ground. He's coming around towards the natural now. He'll be able to block this base going down. Cannons still doing work. Looks like the remainder of that army will die, and the third is under threat. This army can block RoyaL from reinforcing these positions, but can he bring it around? Can he bring it around to hit this army from behind in time? The Zealots are not being moved. Uh-oh. A little bit worried. Look at all the Zealots sitting down at the rally point of RoyaL. Needs to pull them all together. Get these forces to the front. There's only those 3 tanks in the army, and Best is losing probes right now. He is going to clear the army, but every probe has been lost. Oh, no. Sorry, guys, I had to cough there. The army will be cleared out. Everything gets destroyed, but as the dust settles, is there still enough of an economy for Best to hold on? Vultures coming across the map, they're going to be able to deny the probe transfer over here, and Zealots are being sacrificed to try and clear this. Templar come forward. Oh my goodness, the storms are pretty good. But he loses, what, 4 Templar there. We'll be able to clear out some of these Dragoons as they retreat, or these Vultures as they retreat back across the map. Can he break this third, though? I really do feel like he needs to do something. Might not be the best option, though. Best is struggling with workers, and he's just now getting these bases online. His supply is even to that of RoyaL. So he's got a little bit of a overall worker advantage, but, or sorry, workers, bit of an army advantage. About 10 workers behind, so he's got about a 10 supply advantage in that army, but that's not enough to break an entrenched Terran position. Best is going to have to sit back on 4 bases for a little bit of time, get up to that 60 worker-ish count. Try to get another base in top left while RoyaL sits here and continues these upgrades. The push that comes next from RoyaL is going to be difficult to stop. Very difficult to stop. I'd love to get a click on these units and show the upgrades here, as I imagine +2 is already done. With the earliness of that starport and the drop play. Oh gosh, don't walk into this mine. All right, where's the observer? Best needs to clear that out ASAP and get another base online. Looks like he might have gotten a click. We saw the +2 there for Best. I was actually looking at the mini-map for a moment. It is a bit tough when you can't control the screen yourself. Sometimes my eyes are not looking in the right spot. And I can't just check the upgrades whenever I want. And so RoyaL gonna push forward here ever so slowly, inching his way forward. There's now a 30 supply gap between the two, and Best has evened out the worker count. But can he take the trades that he needs to actually win this fight in a big way? RoyaL's position is looking dangerous. It's like a porcupine with all of its quills sticking out. Can Best dive in and smash through? Oh, the EMP there is so sick. Oh my gosh, that EMP is so good. And Best is really starting to clump up here as he gets towards this back line. He's made some really good progress so far. But is it a good idea to continue to push? Well, he's got to back out a little bit more cleanly if he decides to turn around. Don't want to be throwing in that many Dragoons at the end of the fight. He's got a good 20 supply advantage, 30 supply advantage now. RoyaL gonna start to push forward. Here's the big storm. Oh, double D-Matrix to try and save those tanks. Some Archons are gonna be made. A little bit of tanking. A little tankiness for this army as it gears up to hit this again. I think there's a chance Best can break through with this next round of Zealots. If he pulls everything together and hits. He has a shuttle, I believe, with some storms as well. Oh boy, this is scary. Can RoyaL hold? Here we go. The Zealot's diving in right now. Can he get the big storms? Great storms there. Really fantastic. Does kill a lot of his own Zealots, though, with the storm. And the tank line on the right-hand side is a little bit too deep. Best doesn't want to split his army. He wants to back out now with the Dragoons he has remaining. He will not break through, and RoyaL gets this third base online. Oh, this is a close game, guys. This is what we like to see. The next base has already been established here in the top left for Best. As a 1 probe advantage over RoyaL. That does not bode well. But at least he has this extra base up at the same time as RoyaL. Long distance mining that, unfortunately, for the time being. Does need to get those probes to mine efficiently here if he wants to keep up with RoyaL's production in the long term. Still picking up observers. RoyaL has really been so persistent with the observer snipes in this series, and he's continuing to do that. Look, he's got that little hit squad of 1 Goliath, 1 science vessel looking for those kills. Best thinking about going in right now. It's not looking good, though. The trade is going to go heavily in the favor of Terran if he tries to dive into that position. Look at all the tanks spread out, and look at how well spread everything is there. Best, his tank spread is looking fantastic. This is one thing that so many Terran players struggle to do, is just have everything really well spread in the lead up to any of these fights. It's so hard to pay attention to all of this while you're getting this set up, while you're setting up mines and really hammering out your production and moving your army to get everything spread out. But RoyaL's been doing a fantastic job of it. Look at how he's sieging up just tanks that are very spread out. Look at those 2 tanks a little bit further forward. Now he sieges up everything, and now everything's pretty stacked. Can we see Best get some really good storms? The front line is going to be hit pretty hard. Those are great storms hitting about 3 tanks a pop, 3 tanks a piece, but these Zealots and Dragoons are really getting stuck on top of each other. These Zealots are going to run forward, try to bait some mines in. That mine at the back actually getting glitched out. This mine here could actually get some big connections. No. Everything vaporizes, and RoyaL will unsiege, start to move forward. He's got a pretty good advantage here, about a 10 supply advantage in for the moment. A couple more storms get laid down on this army. Zealots running forward, but the tanks will siege, and they have to back out for the time being. Those tanks are quite low. Those probes over at center right have not been mining for a long time, really. Best completely forgetting about that Nexus altogether. Who's going to rotate around this army now? He wants to get the army to the left-hand side so that he has a pincer attack. The rallies coming out from the top right will hit from the right-hand side. Wow, look at this spread of tanks. The rally from the right-hand side will hit from the right, and this army will hit from the left if RoyaL decides to push up towards the top center. But RoyaL is just setting up a massive containment. He is holding the entirety of the middle of the map, reinforcing that, and taking bottom left. There's not really a way for Best to bust through right now. He's got a pretty low supply at just 140. RoyaL he's cleaning up this game. He is just turning this into such a good Terran position. I can't believe these probes are still not mining, guys. That's 5 probes that have been off the line for, like, I'd say at least the last 5 minutes. It's crazy how much money he's kind of foregone by not having that. He is going to put together another big rally of Zealots and Dragoons and prepare for an attack that might not come, honestly. RoyaL is... he's totally fine sitting in this position. He kind of simplified this game for himself. He sets up this huge tank line and then just dares Best to try and break it. Mines everywhere, vultures everywhere. Rotating, following the army. He's going to set up this bottom left-hand corner, and dude, how do you break through this? Well, Best is going to put together a max supply army and try to make it happen. I'm going to hit from, I guess, just this one side. He's pulling his army together now. Oh my gosh, everything just getting annihilated. Great EMP there. Not enough energy on that Templar for the storm, and so Zealots filtering in are not going to trade very well. Here comes the storm. There we go. 1 in the back line. Dragoons are starting to break through. Zealots hitting this front line, but look at the left side, just starting to target down each and every Dragoon. And now the vultures are gone. RoyaL could unsiege and attack, but he doesn't have to. He absolutely does not need to. Here comes the next round of Zealots. It's supposed to bust through the back line, but oh my god, what a trade. What a trade indeed. All those Zealots just explode on top of the mines, and RoyaL clears out this game. Oh my goodness, what a fantastic game from RoyaL. The way that he handled that from start to finish, the drop play, the way that he was attacking out, the spreading of the tanks. So well prepared there. And you can kind of see why. Players are starting to mix in some of those other techs again. Carrier tech is making a comeback. Arbiter tech is making a comeback. It's because Terrans like RoyaL are getting so good at dealing with all of the Protoss shenanigans. The Protoss attacks are just not as effective anymore. Having such a hard time breaking through the setups of the Terran. Really an enjoyable series here. A fantastic series between these two. RoyaL once again able to clutch it out, though. He takes home that $500 for a second time. Best has been royally smashed. Epically defeated twice in our SOOP Duel Series, best of 7. And spoiler alert, guys, for the ASL, if you guys haven't seen up to the end of round of 24 just yet, you can tune out now, but RoyaL is not in the round 24, and best is, what the heck is up with that? Look at how powerful RoyaL looks in this game. He got a little bit unfortunate. Ended up getting taken down because of, what was it, TVT. Ended up losing to Speed and then to Hyun, which is a real slap in the face. RoyaL certainly did not perform this season of ASL, but his level is looking really, really good. That's just the caliber of the players we have right now in the round of 16, guys. All of these players are absolute killers. And so I'm extremely excited to cast that ASL for you guys once again. That'll be coming up next week. And it'll be cast live here on the SOOP channel. So make sure to follow, guys, like the stream, and tune in for the next SOOP Duel Series. We don't have the full schedule just yet, but I can tell you the next SOOP stream, the next SOOP Duel Series is on the 9th of April. So we're going to have a couple of days off, and then we'll be back. We're going to go to the 9th of April, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Then it'll be the 11th of April. And after that, we're going to be getting back to our schedule. It'll be Wednesday through Sunday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And for the rest of the month, for the rest of April and into May, we're going to be going Wednesday through Sunday. And I'm very happy about it, guys. I'm really excited to have this series, and that is going to be continuing for a second month, but we really do need your support here on the live stream to make it work. Of course, I really love that you guys are enjoying it on YouTube, but we do need that live support as well. We need those views on SOOP as well. So if you can make it out to the live stream, I would really appreciate it. Any idea who's playing next? Unfortunately, I have no idea. I literally found out about the SOOP Duel Series coming back. I guess it was a day ago, 2 days ago. It was kind of up in the air until that point. We weren't sure if it was going to come back or not. So we're hoping that this can continue for a long time, but it needs your support. I'll tell my friends to watch. Thank you, Vegeta. Appreciate you. We really do. We want to show that the English community is worth supporting. And we will probably be getting another gem skull. We haven't gotten a gem skull yet from SOOP. And we haven't gotten a viewer's goal either. I want to talk with them a bit more and see if we can get some information on that front. But until we get that information, we're kind of in the dark here. It is what it is. I'll try to be as transparent with you guys as possible as to what I know. When I know it, you guys will know. I'll be making posts on YouTube and announcing things during the live stream, so make sure to tune in live. Enjoy the stream, guys. Enjoy this special thing that we've got going on with the SOOP Duel Series. It's a moment in Starcraft history where we're actually starting to get something going here in collaboration with SOOP. Really for the first time, and hopefully not the last, guys. That's it for this video and this stream. Thank you for being here and enjoying the cast. I hope you enjoyed the cast. Ask SOOP to allow you to cast the replay of round of 16 group selection ceremony. I'm not sure why I would do that. Why would I cast the replay of the round of 16 group selection? I don't have any idea what they're saying. So, I'm not sure how that would be enjoyable for anybody to watch. It would be nice if we had translations. But, that'll be coming through the Tastosis cast. They have the weight of a lot of support behind them. And so they're able to hire translators and really up the quality of the cast in that way. And we don't quite have that support just yet, but we have our own position. We have our own role to play. Casting the ASL live as soon as it comes out. And then it's up on Starcast TV immediately after. For those of you who are not down to wait, 2, 3, 4 days for the ASL cast to come out on the Tastosis channel or the Africa TV channel, you guys can watch it on. You can watch it live with us, or on the Starcast TV channel the next day, or a couple of hours after the stream ends. Try to get that up as soon as possible. Anyways, guys, don't forget, April 9th, 6 p.m. PST, we'll be back with another great matchup. Only killers here in the SOOP Duel series, and we've had some great games lately. This second series between Best and RoyaL was way better than the first one. I feel like Best really upped his game, and RoyaL, though, still just an absolute killer. A Protoss murderer. Takes home that $500. A nice consolation prize for not getting through to that next group. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you very soon.